Hiya, folks. Welcome to The View for today's, I suppose it's a match preview as well as a countdown to kickoff as well. I will be joined by Danny from Not Another Leeds podcast shortly as well. He's just coming back from doing a few bits and pieces. We'll check in with everyone in the chat. Good morning to Chris, going for an early Leeds win 2-0. We'll get into all that. We'll get into all of that as we go through it. Morning, Wigan Joker. Good morning. Michael's in the house. Good morning, Padre. Also there, Rob Gamble. Post-international break and an early kickoff. Bad memories of last season. Yeah, we've got to overturn what happened last season with these breaks. Every time we came back after international break, it just wasn't great for Leeds. So got to get past that one. Good morning, Leon. Hope you're doing well, mate. John Regan in the house this morning. Win would be a proper statement. This is a big game. It's a big game. We'll get into all of that in a second. Jason O'Keefe, morning. Sunny and a bit windy in Duleek. It is a bit sunny and windy in Duleek. Jason, I've been out for a walk with the dog already this morning. So got out while it was nice. Fast approaching 54,000. We are. And again, look, I always say this, but look, a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed over the last couple of months. Has been crazy. So I'm really, really appreciate everyone coming. The news helps with that, I suppose, in transfer windows, but very, very grateful. So thanks to everyone for that. Nigel Mitchell, good morning. Kookaburra, good morning. And JGH60, evening from Western Australia. G'day. I hope you're having a lovely, well, it's evening where you are now, or very, very, very late night. So I hope you're having a good evening, morning, or nighttime, wherever you are in the world, watching the Leeds game from today. There's a bit of stuff floating around. We've got some team news that's come in. A couple of surprises, well, one major surprise. We'll go through both sets of team lineups. We'll look at the form guide from both teams as well, coming into what is going to be a very big early season marker for Leeds United. A win against Burnley, who started the season on fire, but have kind of trailed off over their last couple of games before the international break. Will give Leeds a really strong opportunity to put a marker down and put the rest of the teams in this league on notice if they can produce a win at home at Ellen Road today in the 12:30 kickoff. We'll hope that all goes well, but we will get into this. The first thing I'll do while we're waiting around is we'll go through the team lineups because they have been announced, and there is a couple of interesting ones. Let's try this again. Present that again. Okay, so let me present that. I don't know why. No. Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. Let's go to higher screen. Let's go with that one. There we go. You can probably see that. Leeds United lineup for today's game. Ilan Melia in goals, pretty much same as it was the last time out. Jaden Bogle and Junior Firpo are your fullbacks for today. Centre-backs in Joe Rodon and Pascal Stroud. Two holding midfielders again for Leeds with Ethan Ampadu and Ilya Gruev. Brendan Aronson, Manor Solomon, Willie Nonto make up the three behind Mateo Joseph today. Interesting looking bench. We see Carl Darlow as the only goalkeeper on the bench, which is always a good thing to see. James Abayo makes the bench. Isaac Schmidt makes his first appearance in a Leeds United shirt today on the bench, along with Sam Byram, Largi Ramazani, Ao Tanaka, Joe Rothwell, Joe Gelhardt, and Joel Piri. It was a lot of J's and Joes sitting on the bench there for today's game. The obvious missing one from that is Patrick Bamford, who we were told earlier in the week was back involved in training, and he appears to not be in training again. Dan James is out with a hamstring injury. Max Volber came back from international duty with an issue with his hamstring. And then we've seen this morning that Pat Bamford is not with the squad and is not in the team today. So we'll see Tanaka, Schmidt, Solomon, Ramazani, all the new boys, all available and ready to go today. Solomon getting the start come back from his not overly successful international break with the Israeli national side. From a Burnley perspective, they have a lot of injuries, upwards of nearly 10 injuries going into today's game. Manuel Benson doesn't make this side. He's been out for several weeks with a serious injury. No sign of Connor Roberts. He just couldn't handle playing against the team that he loves the most in the championship. So Connor Roberts is out of the squad for Burnley, having played every single minute of their season so far this season. And Enoch Ajay is out, as well as Delacroix and Nathan Redmond as well. It's still a decent look inside. Former Leeds United loanee Jaden Anthony will start the game, so his return to Elland Road. Side that, it's still a decent side. Brownhill in the middle of the park, good player. Esteve, decent player as well. And they've got a decent bench as well. Ajay's sitting on the bench there. Egan, who they brought in towards the end of it, and then Masengo, who's a player Leeds looked at this time last year, bringing in. And Egan O'Reilly is an interesting one to keep an eye on should he get off the bench. Very tidy in possession and passer of the ball. But we'll go through some Leeds information coming into this. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the lineup, what your thoughts are on the absentees, Dan James, Max Vober, Pat Bamford, all missing from today's squad. But I'd like to know what you all think about that. And as Wigan Joker says, while you're here, if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button, that helps the video to get pushed out to more and more people and helps the video to be seen and grow and all that kind of good stuff. So I would appreciate that if you don't mind. Good morning to Baz. Michael, any thoughts on which direction from a non-personal point of view you will go with your podcast? Hope it's something that you'll do full-time. Could be a calling in life. I'm trying to do a full-time, but it's a bit difficult right now. I have to start looking for a job at some point. But yeah, I'd like to do a full-time. I'd like to do it more professionally. I'd like to do it in a studio environment. I've got ideas. The funding is the issue. So, but I've got a couple of things in the fire, and hopefully by the end of September, October, we should be in a position there to either have a website that goes along with it to launch with the YouTube channel, and then the audio podcasting as well sorted out and a bit more frequent there as well. So yeah, plenty of stuff planned. Good morning from Ralph in the Americas. Good morning, Ralph. I hope you're doing well this morning. Good morning to everyone in America as well. There's a ton of Leeds United fan clubs popping up over in the States, which is great to see. Can't wait till 12:30. Yeah, I'm the same as you, man. Morning from Wisconsin, Jer. See, I said it. Love the new show. I appreciate that. Thanks very much. We don't have a pre-match show in the States much. Yeah, and I watch the pre-match show from Leeds usually as well, but I love Jermaine Beckford and I love Michael Bridges, but I think they forget the topic they're on at times and go off in tangents and don't come back to the question they've usually been asked. So that's what we tried to do something different. This was supposed to be different, but we didn't get what we wanted to get. So yeah, it's an incredibly strong bench from Leeds. Really, really, really strong bench. Even with 3 players missing, it's still a very strong bench. No need to push past to it. Yeah, I agree. You can give him as much time as we need, but season's getting on. We're already a month in. It's really nice having a good bench. It really is. There's a bit of comfort there knowing that if this isn't going the way we need to go, we can bring on some players and turn this game around. Bamford got an ingrown facial. Thanks. Hey, those who suffer. Okay, so ingrown hairs. Not to be taken too lightly. Blaze, Dre, they could find better people than Beckford for me. Yeah, they're going for local. They're going for the internal people, which is fine. There's no issue. Good morning. Hope you're all in great result. Let me know in the world where you're watching today. There's 150 in the chat. Be nice to know where you all guys are all from, girls, people, everyone from. So, but we have got a couple of stats to tick off while we're waiting. Leeds have won 3 of their last 4 league meetings against Burnley. They all came in the Premier League. And they all came under Marcelo Bielsa between December 2020 and January 2022. Burnley have lost 7 of their last 9 league visits to Elland Road. 1 win and 1 draw in that time. Their only victory came under Sean Dyche way back when, 11 years ago, back in 2013. Only Swansea are averaging a higher possession figure than Leeds United. Swansea are sitting on 59.3% possession, averaging, while Leeds are sitting so far on 58%, which is really good considering the first 2 games that Leeds had. And then from a completed passes perspective, Leeds are top of the pile in the league at the moment with 1,823 accurate passes. It's an 86.3% accuracy rate, so it's brilliant to see that as well. And they're also top of the short passes as well. So taking off an awful lot of stuff there. From a Burnley perspective, they are the joint biggest scorers in the division and the best shot conversion rate in the league right now. They've exceeded their XG. They've scored 10 goals from an XG of 3.3. So I think from a Leeds perspective today, the most important thing will be to limit the amount of chances that Burnley have. They have the capability of scoring goals from very, very few chances, and they can hit you pretty quickly. Their conversion rate's fantastic. As I said, it's the best in the league, but also the fact that they're over egging on their XG is a huge piece to that as well. And then from a final perspective for Leeds, Pascal Struijk has completed the most amount of passes in the championship and accurate passes in the championship to date. So great to see that from Pascal. So yeah, really, really good. So where are we all watching from? We got someone Antrim up the road, Jamie McNamee territory. Durham, North Carolina. Hope you found North Carolina. Fort Collins, Colorado. Greetings from Sweden. Watching in the Peacock Fair Garden. Nice. 30% of those passes are from Tanaka, probably. Yeah. I'm watching you from Blast from Your Past. I'm watching you from your Blast from the Past. Chris Pickering. I don't know what that means, Chris. I don't know what that means. Graham Johnson, greetings from North Portugal. Skipping jealous. Stockbridge, Cambridge, Bedfordshire, Australia. Again, there's a few there. Quite confident about today. Not expecting an outright goal fest. However, believe we will win. Yeah, I'm there, which is well. Good afternoon from Harrogate and Canberra. Also in Australia. Loads of Aussies in the house. And Local lad just popped in to say hello. Good morning, Danny. How are you, mate?
First of all, I do apologise for my tardiness. Megan Fox would not let me go. I pleaded and pleaded and pleaded, but eventually I found an open window and I had to escape that way. Thanks for having me on. So yeah, apologies for that, mate. But yeah, I'm good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Chris, thanks for letting me know. Now it makes sense. Now cost Greece makes sense. It is very much a blast from my past. And for those who don't know, I worked in costs in Greece in 2000 and 2001. As a holiday rep in 2001 specifically.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went over on a holiday, got paddy with some Irish lads in a bar that was called Molly Malone's, because of course it was called Molly Malone's, and rang back and jacked in my job and stayed in Greece for the summer.
That's great. I've just been on a holiday in Kos, actually.
I love Kos. I've been there twice. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Although it's a long. What, 2001? I was young. I was 13 years younger than him. I was 29.
Was it?
No,
I was
20,
in
19,
high
19,
school.
20. Yeah. Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was an absolute, and I was a kid. Got homesick and everything while I was over there. Wanted to come home, and then like you get home and you're like, why did I come home? It's crap over here. But I did anyway. Danny, how's have you seen the team sheet? What's your thoughts on the team sheet so far?
I haven't actually, but I've got it here actually.
Flash up it. Good job with it.
I think it's the same as against the last team we played. I'm happy with that. I'm happy to see Tanaka, Ramazani. I can't wait to see Pirro on the bench. I think the first 11 is good for me. It's great for me. I think Mateo's confidence will be up there. But I mean Schmidt on the bench as well. I'm already schmitten with him. I like to see what I did there. Yeah, that's the type of person. You know what you get when you get me on here, Joe. But yeah, I do like that team. You need continuity, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you really, really do. That's a great shout, by the way, from Michael. Sorry, seeing Gary from Talking Shut. I was a huge Talking Shut fan. Probably part of the reason I even did this was because Talking Shut went away. So I loved it. It was my Square Ball and Talking Shut were the two podcasts I always listened to religiously. And then COVID happened to went away. But it was great to see Gary do it, and I'm a big fan of it.
Great person as well, Gary.
You are?
Great guy is Gary, by the way. Great guy.
I grew up. Yeah. Don't know him personally, but yeah, I always came across really well. I like the guy. There you go. That's for you, Danny. Is Megan coming around later?
It depends if she recaptures me or not. I don't know. I'm in hiding. She won't leave me alone. She says that we're the same star sign or something. But me being a classic Scorpio, you know.
Yeah, she's classically clingy for a celeb, you know, and you've got to just deal with that, Danny. You know, it's the highs and the lows, mate.
The curse being like this.
All right, so we've got no Pat Bamford in the squad, which is interesting because he was back training and now he's not again. So they seem to be taking the patient approach with him, has been said in the chat. But yeah, what do you reckon to that?
I think he's if I'm being brutally honest, mate, I think he's done. If he's suffered another injury, because it's just speculation at this point, I think that's his time at Leeds done, and we could possibly see him even mutually get rid of him, you know, like get rid of his contract because he's on high wages. And if he's been, because surely Leeds have turned around and looked at his situation. There's rumours of him, you know, new negotiations, contract talks and stuff, but you know, it must be just rumours. I think it's time for me to move on personally. I don't want. There you go, Donna. You know it. But I think it's very telling. If he can't keep fit, we need to move him on. Personally.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do like Pat in terms of when Patrick Bamford is fit, he adds an awful lot to Leeds. There'll be a lot of people that don't think that, but when you look at the data and you look at the stats, and as has been said this week by a lot of people, facts don't care about your feelings. And if you look at the facts of Pat Bamford, when he was in the team last year for the run that he was starting games, Leeds went on their best run of the season. He is statistically the best finisher that Leeds have. On the data that's there right now, I'm sure Mateo Joseph will definitely push up that list. But on what's there right now, the stats say he is of value to Leeds. But then we always said last year, you know, the number one ability is availability. And unfortunately, Paddy is just not ever really available enough for Leeds. So, Yeah, you've got that problem, but it then, I suppose, opens the door for Joffrey a little bit more, gives him a chance to maybe get on the park. It maybe gives Pirro a chance to play as a 9. So there are options. That bench, Danny, is a decent. Wrong screen. There we go. That bench, Danny, is a decent looking bench when you look at it. The high end graphics you get on this channel, I swear to God, it's next level, isn't it? We still only have one goalkeeper on the bench, which is positive, considering we're missing Dan James, we're missing Max Ferber, and we're missing Pat Bamford. And you look at that, and it's DeBeo, a centre back, Schmidt, a fullback, Byram, a fullback, Ramazani, a winger, Tanaka, a centre midfielder, Rotwell, a centre midfielder, and then Joffrey and Pirro, 2 attackers. So you're well covered across the bases with that. And it's a bench that I wouldn't have an issue bringing any of those players on in this game.
But any of them players, you can do a 1-for-1 swap and change the formation, go more attacking. I mean, we've still yet to see a sample size from Schmidt, but going off what we've seen from highlights, he can be exciting. He can score a goal. You got Ramazani, who looked very energetic and willing to defend. Tanaka looked very graceful for me. Not only was he positive, but he looked good in close spaces. Rothwell, we've seen plenty of times that he's always scanning. I like that. Gelhart's got in pre-season, the early games, he looked like he had a point to prove. Pirro's Pirro, he scored last time out, and we know that if Pirro gets in front of the net 9 times out of 10, he's putting it in away. Darlow's and Debayo, for me, is the question marks. Debayo's young, he's learning his trade. Darlow, I'm not. Whatever you do, don't ask James what he thinks of Darlow, because I mean, mostly expletives and negative terms. But Darlow,
he did make UEFA's team of the round in the last set of games. Very good debut for Wales. He made a very, very, very good double save at one point in that game. A couple of dodgy moments with his feet, but outside of that, like back passes. But that's the same with every goalkeeper. It's like their dodgiest moments when someone gives them the ball to their feet and goes, start to move. But outside of that, his handling was good. His saves were good that he had to make, and the double save that he made to keep Wales in the game was a phenomenal save. So he had a decent debut. But goalkeeper's a weird position, Danny, because if you're not playing every week, you can't possibly, whatever it is about a striker being sharp, a goalkeeper's job is 100% reflexes. So you need to be playing to a pretty high level on a regular basis. And he's just not playing any football.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I've always said that goalkeeper's the hardest position on the pitch, because you've literally a split second to react to a ball travelling at X miles an hour. And it's very unforgiving. You make a mistake, it hangs over your head for weeks or months or even years in some people's Rachubka, thing. But like but if you make a save, you're the hero for that moment. The thing is, Darlow, there's that famous video of when he was at Newcastle and he had the ball and he gave it away, but then he went on to do a double save, didn't he? Which, which, like I say, has stayed with him. Surely you have to have a certain mentality, right? I need to bide my time, because Meslier has been under so much scrutiny as of late, and he's surely thinking, get me on. But you just got to be patient, haven't you? But he's more of an old school goalkeeper, Darlow. He's not really good with his feet, like you said.
I'm not going to start moves for you, but he will make saves if you need them to be made. And that's the big part of him. But he said he spoke himself during the week about it, and he said he doesn't mind being second choice to Meslier, that he knows that this is patience and he's got to wait for his moment and he's got to wait for his time, and he knows that if he just stays sharp and keeps himself busy, he'll get that chance. Asking about where we can watch the game. The game's on Sky, mate, but outside of that, I don't know. And if there was any free online links floating around, the last place I would be advertising is on a YouTube live stream. It's a very good way for me to get either a knock on my front door or be blocked, banned immediately. But you can scan around if you want it. But it is on Sky Sports, Sky Football Plus. I think it's on there, Premier League Plus. One of those 2 channels. Danny, from going into the game and looking at Leeds, we're unbeaten so far this season. 3 clean sheets in the last 3 league games, which after the first 2 would be mad to think that Leeds could even possibly get that after the Portsmouth and then the Middlesbrough games. But they've gone on to keep 3 clean sheets in a row. In 5th in the league, could go top 2 today if results go our way and we get a win. How are you feeling about the league campaign since the second game of the season, since the turn in fortune?
I think it's a bit unfortunate that 4 games in, there's an international break. I find that absolutely crazy. It's just typical Leeds. We get into a momentum and then boom, it's stopped by internationals. But I suppose the internationals that we do have, they've kept sharp. For instance, Tanaka came on the 71st minute the other day against China and made more passes than the Chinese team altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
no,
a cameo
yeah.
Only a couple of minutes he was on the park and he done that.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see what he does in the full 90, if I'm being honest.
Do you think Farke was a little bit giddy and excited about him when he talked about him in the press conference? Because Farke has these little tells that he has every now and then. If he's not comfortable answering a question, he usually picks up something and starts kind of holding it in his hand, and the head kind of goes a bit like that. But when he's excited about something, the head goes right down and he kind of goes, well, and the body starts kind of moving a little bit. And when he was talking about Tanaka, it was all smiles and, he's very good at this, he's very good at this, he's very good at this. And it's like, I feel really sorry for Ilya Groove because I like Ilya Groove and I think he started the season pretty well. But you've got Tanaka, and again, like you, I'm very excited to see him. Sorry, real quick. Yes, LUTV are showing it outside of the UK and Ireland, but you have to pay for it. It's 10 quid. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny. So what with Tanaka and Gruev, and your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like Tanaka. I think he's obviously we tried signing him last year, but he had that knee injury, didn't he? Which was unfortunate. Yeah. He got took out the team training, did his knee in training the same day, and that's when we went and got Kamara. I think that's why it took so long for Kamara to get across the line. But I'm excited to see him. He's very well thought of, and I just he'll look good. Gruev I think he started off a bit rocky because I remember people were basing his performances off the last international break last year, where I think he played left back or something like that, and he got like mauled by whoever it was. Yeah. No, not Hull City, but whoever it was. But yeah, the Hull Kittens, I believe they are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, it's there was a point I was going to make, but in good Swiss cheese brain fashion, I forgot.
It's probably my fault for cutting you off, to be fair. But you were talking about Tanaka, the impact that he makes. But Manor Solomon, another big, strong performance from him expected. But we should also probably talk about the fact that Brendan Aronson was voted by the fans as Leeds United's Player of the Month, which I think is a massive step forward for him.
Massive.
And he's done an interview with Sky this morning. He's very grateful for what's happened, and he's very grateful for the fans, welcoming him back in the way. So the redemption arc is nearly completed at this stage already. Do you think?
Yeah, I think he's a long way to go to get full redemption, obviously, but he's putting the effort in. He's making things happen. And he's been humble and grateful to us because for him to get that award, although it's a minor award in his sort of mentality, but it should mean a lot because look how Nonto did it. Nonto knew what he'd done straight away. And then let's not forget Nonto got banners made about him being a little baby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for Aronson, I thought you were going to take a bit longer, but for it to get after 4 or 5 games is great for Aronson, and it should take his confidence up there because we're at home today, right? I want to play for these fans. I want to make sure, and that's the mentality that we need. None of this. I want alone. I don't want. I'm championships beneath me. Whether he's been forced to or not, Aronson is playing for us in the championship, which is. Will be good for him in the long run, in my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely think it will be. I said this last year. I thought a year in the championship of getting kicked around the place would actually do him the world of good. It's helped an awful lot of players. But he brings a huge amount of energy to that number 10 role for Leeds United. And the fact that him and Nanto have been swapping over in that role as well has been made it really interesting to watch at times. But the energy that Aronson brings is a tempo driver for me. And I've talked an awful lot about Leeds tempo. And the more tempo drivers Leeds have in the team, the better for me. And I think he's been fantastic. And Nanto started the season really well as well. And he was playing 2 games for the Italian national under-21s as a number 10 and got a lovely assist for one of their goals as well. So Leeds didn't get a 10, Danny, but you've got Aronson and Nanto who've been playing in there so far. How do you think that's gone so far?
Yeah, I think it's good that they can both interchange because we've seen Nanto in that 10 role. I think he is learning that trade, but I think he can be as graceful as Rutter sometimes. I can see that happening. I think he's still got a lot to learn. Aronson gives the energy. He's like a little, I don't know, like an angry chihuahua. You know what I mean? It's just like, but it's good to see that when Nanto comes in, Aronson can fill that role, and then the vice versa. I think it's exciting, But I would like to see an out-and-out 10 come in January, just someone that can unlock defences, because I think Aronson and Nonto don't have that just yet.
Yeah.
But we've still got good options to be in that 10. What about you?
I like Aronson in there, and I think the ability to swap players over makes it different, because there wasn't a lot of movement last year. When we got to that last third of the park and we had a low block to deal with, we just went left and right. There was no options. I think if you've seen so far, Nanto's looking to make runs in behind. He's getting caught offside at the moment, but he's making runs in behind. You've got Solomon, who stays as wide as he can possibly stay, try and stretch the play. That gives space in the middle of the park for the likes of Aronson and that. And then Aronson will just keep moving around and looking for space. We'll drop deep and come and get it. Joseph will do the same. So for me, you've got a front four there that are just constantly kind of interchanging and rotating around. It's very, very different than what we had last year. And it's better as long as they keep doing that, as long as the energy levels from that front group are strong. The big thing with me today with Leeds will be, do not get caught on the counter, because they will score. They will punish us if we get caught today. But I think what we've also seen from Ampadu and Gruev is this covering the fullbacks, where last year it was one fullback went, one stayed. Now this year it's both fullbacks go. And then Ampadu and Gruev drop out and trying to give them the cover. So as long as they can just be solid at the back, that's fine. And let those players then relax and go and do the attacking side of the game. But I think we'll have plenty of the ball. I think it'll start like a bat out of hell. I think it'll be a pretty fast tempo up and down from both sides. I don't know if it'll be huge amounts of goals, but I think it'll be a pretty competitive game. But I think the middle of that park is going to be huge, and that number 10 role is going to be massive as well. If we can stop them coming through the middle of the pitch, half the job is done. And then if we can get our number 10 to be the one that actually helps create stuff, he's got 4 goal involvements already, 2 goals, 2 assists are involved in another one, but 4 goal involvements so far. But I mean, that's a hell of a start. And I do agree with it. It's possibly a little stretch, but Brendan Aronson is about 1 hat-trick away from never having to buy a beer in Leeds again. I think he's probably a little bit further away from that, but it's nice to see, and it's nice to have some positive energy around the place at the moment, Penny.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Compared to a couple of weeks ago, when everything we thought was going to be on fire, with Rutter, Archie, Kamara, and all this, we're much more well-rounded for the Championship, in my opinion. If we can just hit that up next player, that 10, like we say, and then I think we'll be literally cooking on gas. But yeah, it's good to have that positive feeling around the club again, and I think today's going to be a big test for us, because I think they won 4-1 and then 5-0 in the first 2 games, but they petered out a bit. They lost to Sunderland and they drew with Blackburn, so they're coming into this game on the back of a draw. We're coming into it back of 2 wins and a draw. So, but I know that we spoke about it on the pod last night, that we're unbeaten at Ellen Road in the last 5 games unbeaten against Burnley, not at Ellen Road, in the last 5 games. So there's that positive to take as well.
Yeah, they had a weird and unusual start to the season. I mean, before the window closed, they had a lot of the players that they came down with, similar to what we had last year with Sinistero, I suppose. But unbeaten. Sorry, they've won defeat so far. They did beat Luton the opening day 4-1. They beat Cardiff 5-0. Then it went a bit weird. They were playing against a 10-man Sunderland, which they should have beaten on paper. They were against it for a period of time as well. And they still lost 1-0. And then they drew 1-1 with a 10-man Blackburn as well. So they struggled to break down 10 men in that game as well. But both of those come after moments where players have left or gone out injured. And they have a huge injury list, about 10 players that are injured right now. But they're still in 7th, and a win against us today will put them above us into the playoff positions. But they've got in 4 games, they've only conceded 3 goals, which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it is a goal a game. And if Leeds can nick a goal there, just under a goal a game. But they've scored 10. But if you look at that 10, 9 of them came in the first 2 games.
Yeah, against poor sides.
Yeah.
So what you're saying today is, what you're saying is today that we need a man sent off straight away in order to win. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we got 10 men early. We win this game 4-0. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. Will Ferrell is in attendance today as well. Danny, before I throw up some score predictions, real quick, wanted to ask you thoughts on the potential of Junior Firpo signing a new deal at Leeds.
I'd love it. I'm all for it. We spoke about it again last night. I think he's deserved it, because we've seen at this level. I mean, Championship Firpo and Premier League Firpo, 2 different people, in my opinion. It's coming up against different opposition in the Championship, and the Premier League, you've got Salah and stuff like that, and Haaland to deal with, and like Jeremy Doku and stuff. It's just different levels, isn't it? But on the back of this past 2 seasons, I'd give him an extra deal and stuff. But if not, I firmly believe that they're talking to him. There's rumours that he's open to an extension, but it all depends on, because how old is Firpo? Like 27, 28?
28
So you're talking like, yeah, so he's in his peak years. This maybe could take him to retirement, if not the penultimate contract before he hangs up his boots.
Yeah.
So
Big.
so maybe he does want to go back to La Liga and finish on a high there, and then go back to wherever. But yeah, I'd offer him a new bumper contract. No. Because let's face it, in January he could sign a pre-contract with someone else and leave at the end of the season. Maybe that's why Schmidt's come in to replace him.
That did look like that. Yeah, it gives him some time to learn and kind of be the cover behind him and less pressure, and then come in and ultimately replace him over time. But he said he's open to it. But he said if the Leeds don't, he has his next move pretty much planned, which I think we all know exactly where that is. He's probably heading back to Betis. If anyone, just the question for JGH below, if you can have a look at this, if anyone else is having any issues with LUTV, the system saying that he's subscribed and he's not, I've seen this happen. But the Leeds website hasn't been behaving particularly well in the last 24 hours. So the fantastic Leeds original range that launched yesterday is non-existent on the website. It's not there. So yeah, it's going well over there at the moment. So yeah, if anyone else has any information, just stick it in the chat below and let us know. As Jim says, Firpo was never fit in the Premier League, to be fair. Yeah, he's had a huge run of games, which I think has been very important. But I still think that is the big question mark over his head. And for me, whether Firpo gets a new contract or not will depend on what Leeds see as his long-term future. Do Leeds rate him as a first-choice Premier League left-back? If they don't, they probably let him leave. If Leeds sell him, they have to pay Barcelona 25% of whatever they sell him for, which is. I said this in the news yesterday. This is not a player clause in the contract, but this was done in the Premier League when we were there, and we put the clause in for another club, and they're like going, 25% is a massive amount of a transfer fee to put into a contract, but that was another.
It's crazy, mate.
Nuts.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, buying a player in Barcelona that you think has got sell-on value, and you put 25% sell-on on his contract,
15 mil as well.
Anyway, Danny, talk to me about score predictions before we finish up. Oh, sorry, by the way, everyone, there is a redirect in place, by the way, to Just Joe's show for the watch along. So if you want to hang on here until it's finished, we'll be finished in a couple of seconds, and then you'll be sent over to Just Joe, and then just tell Joe I said hi and enjoy the game. I'll talk to him later on. But Danny, score predictions for the game.
Last night I said 3-2 because I think this will be a bit of a test for us. But overall last night we said it was positive. James was, overly positive as he always is. But yeah, I think 3-2, and I think I can see Joseph braced for me today.
Confidence is up. Yeah, I have a 2-1. I think we will concede. I think, again, same as you, I think it'll be pretty tight in terms of goals. Yeah, 2-1. I think both sides will score, and I think Joseph and Aronson are my two for today to get the goals, one each. We'll go through a couple of them really quick. From Stephen Byrne, 3-1 to Leeds. Chris Pickering says 2-0 to Leeds. The names are great. 2-0 to Leeds. Fat Tony says 5-0 battering for Burnley today, he reckons. And Jim says a 2-0 win to Leeds. So everyone's very happy and confident. The last time we were this happy and confident, we drew 3-3 with Portsmouth. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it should be good. Folks, we'll wrap it up there, and we will send you over to Just Joe's. Massive thanks to Danny from Not Another Leeds podcast for jumping in. Danny's channel is linked below as well. You can check that out. And you can check out afterwards, the podcast from this week is out as well, where we talked about Liam Cooper's exit from Leeds and his time at Leeds, so you can check that out if you want to. And when I hit the end button here, you should be sent over to Just Joe. So enjoy the game. Fingers crossed for 3 points. Danny, anything going on over at Not Another Leeds podcast before we wrap?
Yeah, we did an episode last night with Smarty from Ought to Know Better, and Smarty was pleasantly surprised by a new segment. I can put it that way. So if you're interested, go and look at that. All I'll say is, like the Spanish Inquisition, you don't expect the Quizmaster, do you? So, yeah, so we did a podcast last night. Thanks for everyone that watched that. If not, go check it out. Cheers, like and subscribe and all that. Sorry, dirty plug there. And then we've got a Sunday club on Sunday on Not Another Leeds House, which we do every Sunday after the game.
Great. Well, you can check them out, folks, if you want to. Show a bit of support. And I'll be back on Monday morning for the news. And we'll have a review of the weekend's game, probably Monday evening, assuming everyone's available. We'll have to go check that out. But anyway, head over to Joe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you soon. See you. Bye.